What's up, guys? In this match, I used Arlott, who just received a really solid buff in the recent update. This hero is insanely strong now, but only a few players can actually maximize his full potential, because there's no room for mistakes when it comes to his second skill, especially if you're using a damage build. Before the recent update, Arlott was a balanced hero, when they removed his mana and reduced the cooldown of his passive from 8 seconds to 7 seconds. Of course, it still depends on the player. Some might say he was weak just because they don't know how to use him properly. Like I said, you need to play almost perfectly with Arlott. But now, he got a massive buff, especially for the tank build. I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing more of this Arlott in tournaments. Both his damage build and tank build got buffed, but the tank build definitely received the bigger upgrade. Because his HP regen from the second skill when hitting marked targets now has a base healing effect, and the healing that scales with physical attack was reduced significantly. So now, even if you go for a tank build, the HP regen is much better. For the damage build Arlott, the buff is more like a slight nerfed for his HP regen, but the new movement speed boost on his second skill is a huge buff. Still, both builds are now stronger overall, because his ultimate got a really solid buff. It can no longer be cancelled by any crowd control, except for suppression. And now, every time you level up his ultimate, it reduces the cooldown of his passive by 1 second. So by late game, Arlott's passive only has a 4-second cooldown. So what you should note about this buff on Arlott is that he's now more flexible. Before, the damage build was clearly stronger than the tank build because his skills scaled with physical attack. But now, I can honestly say that both builds are strong. It just depends on the situation and your personal preference. If you like assassin-style Arlott, then go for the damage build. If you prefer a fighter-type Arlott, then go for the tank build or a hybrid one. In this game, I used a pure tank build. As usual, my very first item is Thunderbelt, so I can start stacking it right away. I went for a tank build here because my lane opponent was Uranus, who is very hard to burst down even if I go full damage. That's why I chose tank build instead. It's easy to stack Thunderbelt against Uranus and other tanky or sustain type EXP laners. You just keep fighting non-stop, and the player with Thunderbelt usually wins, even if neither of you gets a kill. By the way, this is the emblem I used on Arlott in this game, which is why I was so tanky throughout the match. Later, I'll try using a damage build and let's see which one works better. Now you can really feel the impact of them removing Arlott's mana. He can regenerate HP without any mana limitations, and it honestly feels like a cheat code. You should know how to use both damage and tank builds on Arlott so you can be flexible. Because the hero's flexibility is useless if the player isn't flexible. Like in this game, I went for a tank build because we didn't have a proper front liner. If I had gone for a damage build, it would have been a problem. Our roamer was Angela, and our jungler wasn't a utility type either. So even though the Angela and Alucard combo can be tanky in some situations, most of the time it's not enough. That's why the team still needed someone to absorb damage and also set up fights using Arlott's ultimate. In the next game, I tried a damage build on Arlott. I used Petrify because I needed it to instantly burst down enemies. In this lineup, I was able to go for a damage build since we had a tank. But I'm not saying it's better, I'm saying it was possible. Also, the enemy's hero lineup was squishy. They were all easy to burst down. So you really need to be aware of both your team's lineup and the enemies when deciding which build fits Arlott best. If you're the type of player who can adjust builds based on different situations, you'll go a long way. In this part, I thought I was only up against Lapu Lapu, but it turns out their mage was here too. I accidentally burst them down under their turret. What you should try and damage build Arlott is the newly buffed Endless Battle. It helps him a lot. If you're going for a tank build, Thunderbelt is a must and serves as your source of true damage. But in a damage build, it's Endless Battle. I don't know what this Gusion was planning to do, but yeah, ended up being another easy kill. Squishy enemies are really easy for Arlott to burst down. And have you noticed? A lot of players are using Gusion lately, and most of them honestly don't know what they're doing.
Mega kill. Double kill.
One down.
I felt like I was just there to clean up the mess. In this game, I honestly didn't plan on building Sky Piercer, but I accidentally bought Expert Gloves, so I just went ahead and completed Sky Piercer so it wouldn't go to waste. But as you can see, it was already too late in the game. I really had no intention of building it at all.
Nothing escapes my vision.
I have no idea where that Hellcurt came from. He just suddenly appeared out of nowhere, and the bushes were actually a bit far from where it happened.
An ally has slain legendary.
This is the problem when going full damage on Arlott with Petrify. He becomes much easier to kill, and it's really hard to escape if the enemy ganks you. You have no choice but to fight and just hope you can burst them down before they take you out.
This feeling.
Let's just watch them. Layla was insanely strong in this game. She's actually the one who carried us. Look, enemies tried to take her down, but they couldn't.
Killing spree. Launch attack. Ult is not ready. Request backup. Has been slain. Launch attack.
I really thought the minions were going to win the game for us. My plan here was to take out the enemy marksman because he was the only one who knew how to defend. That way the minions might finally finish their mission and end the game. I managed to kill him, but that cockroach still hurt. Good thing Selena avenged me. She even used flame shot on him just to make sure, even though he was already dead.
This reminds me of the little street that leads us escapes my vision.
Request backup.
This is the emblem I used in this game.